Democrats in the Senate, the Democrats in the Assembly, and the Democratic governor. They just had made a massive roundup of drug dealers in New York, Newburgh, a couple of months ago. None of them are ever going to see the prison. Because what this bill does, it's like a get out of jail free. It's like a legalized jail free. And my opponent voted for that. You can go on and on. I'm not only a fiscal conservative, I'm a social conservative. I don't know how much people understand that, but I've always been a conservative and had the endorsement. The conservative party's always endorsed me. I've never been a representative of my party, as I told you earlier. I had a lawsuit against Joe Bruno, a lawsuit against Pataki. I've always spoken my mind. One of the last bills I had, in fact, I was going to bring it tonight, I didn't bring a copy of the New York Times article. I called it the Stonewall Chances Hell bill. Right now we do it's almost like a oxymoron. Every this time of the year, legislators have to file a legislative ethics report. We're talking about our outside income. Now, the bill I submitted in 2008, right now, if anybody wants to find out where Shelley Silver or anybody got extra money from, you can't. All that is redacted. You don't. Now, he's a big lawyer with a big law firm, Luxembourg and White. Joe Bruno had his own consulting firm. And I'm not just picking on those two, everybody in the legislature, but especially those two. You could not find out where they got extra income, and that way you could understand why or some bills were held up in committee and why some were discharged in committee. Again, going back to the ultimate control that the leaders have of the legislature. I can even get through I want to continue on that opening statement. In addition to your salary, the staff allowances too. So the bigger your staff, the better you can serve the constituents. It's just so leadership skewed that the average legislator, they have to more or less go along with what the leader wants. For a number of different reasons. How about you, sir?
Yeah, so short of having an armed insurrection, how do we change it?
That was their idea, but I think what John was talking about earlier, direct initiative to have a constitutional convention.
Yeah.
Now, every 20 years, the idea of a constitutional convention has to be put on the ballot. The last time it was put on, I think it was 1996. I could be off the year, but I think it was 1996. So the next, to be on the, well, yeah, so next one is going to be 2017. But the legislature can vote to have a constitutional convention anytime that they want. And the only way you can have change in New York, believe me, the only way is with a constitutional convention. Well, right now, according to the Constitution, or we work under, legislators are entitled to be delegated to the Constitution. In the last Constitutional Convention they actually had, I think the legislators comprised of like 35% of the delegates. Now, there's another interesting thing about being a delegate. A delegate gets the same salary for the length of the convention that the state legislators are currently getting. So, in other words, the last time we had a convention, 35% of the delegates, the legislators, got another year's salary for the. You certainly can't stop legislators from running delegates, but you certainly can bring that fact up. And I think, under the current climate, they'd be loath to run delegates. So, to answer your question, the only way you can really change it, I mean, I could tell you that I'm going to be, Mr. Smith goes to Albany, and I'm just going to starve myself on my desk, but actually the only legitimate, normal way to change this is through the Constitutional Convention. And the people you're sending up now, tell them you want a Constitutional Convention next year. And you want ordinary folks to get up there I first ran for the assembly back in 1990, I said then, sort of like tongue in cheek, that if you send the next 200, at that time, 212 members of the legislature, I said, if you took the next 212 people across the Newburgh Beacon Bridge, providing they weren't the exclude serial murderers, send them to Albany, they do as good a job as the folks that are up here. They can only serve one term, and then you have to take the next 212 that goes to that. But I mean, there has to be a better way, and I think the better way is to have it law with the Constitution.
Questions? No questions?
Where do you stand on the handgun micro-stamping bill?
Well, we have the current one?
Yeah.
It's the one that requires all new semi-automatic pistols sold in New York State will have to have a code imprinted in the firing pin so that when the cartridge cases are rejected and the police find them at a crime scene, they can be traced.
Well, I think that's to work as well as the one we have now with the bullet that had not.
Which doesn't work.
One single thing, it's just goofy. I'll approach Second Amendment thing anyway. If I thought for a minute, I'm a retired trooper, I spent 20 years at state police. If I thought for a minute that would help cyber crime, no. That's a silly law. It's all feel good law. You know, and by the way, a lot of laws they do up there are silly. Like I voted against the cell phone thing. I would vote against. I think government's responsibility is to tell you, hey, look, if you wear seatbelts and you're getting an accident, you're going to be much better off having that seatbelt on. That's government's function to tell you that. But it's not government's function to tell you you have to wear that seatbelt. I think it's government's function to say if you're driving a motorcycle and you wear a helmet, you have an accident, chances are you're going to be much better off if you have a helmet. Great. But don't make me wear a helmet. 16-year-olds, young folks, yeah, they have to. We have to make sure that they're doing what's best for them. But I don't need a damn government to tell me to wear a seatbelt, wear a helmet, maybe get a better cane, maybe better shoes, but not to wear a seatbelt and motorcycle helmet. There's 2 minutes left, so anybody has to. Yes, sir.
Hi, my name is Francois. I guess I have a 2-part question.
Sure.
What do you think about the morality or even the necessity of organizations like the IMF and American taxpayers being put on the hook for about 20% of what goes into it, basically funneling cash out the back door without our permission? Do you feel that's necessary or even moral? And I guess the second part is about the Federal Reserve. How do you feel about the Federal Reserve? Do you think they're a bunch of crooks? Do you think we should have some sort of monetary reform? I guess that's it.
Well, of course, I think we have probably folks on the federal level who know more about it than I do. And I'm not going to pretend to know a lot about it. But what I do know is that this country's broke. And that for us to be like one of the prime suppliers of the IMF, and what the last time we did was through the IMF to bail out our banks who had made bad loans to South America and Central America. And that's where the bailout came with that. Using our money to bail out banks. That was about 10 or 12 years ago. So, yeah, but again, I'm hardly an expert. Of course, I'm hardly an expert in a lot of things, but certainly not with that much question.
Time's up.
Time's up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.